And we're back. You lot have been crying and crying and crying for me to bring Clive back. I've got Clive here. How you doing, my friend? Is everything good?
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. Could done with 2 more points the weekend, but I can't complain too much. That's the way it goes, right?
You're definitely right, man. I mean, it feels a bit like, you know, when you're winning and keeping clean sheets and there's no shots on target and we're just handling business, it does feel a bit of a disappointment that we obviously drew. And because you touched on it, we might as well jump straight into it. Before I ask you some other questions, like, what did you make of the Sunderland game? We finally conceded.
Yeah, so, yeah, it's a third away game in a week. And so you're always a little bit worried about it. Saturday night on telly, 5:30. That means everyone's in the pubs all day. It's going to be hot out there.
Yep.
You know, it's going to be hot in the ground. And you get those games sometimes. And so, yeah, I thought it would be challenging. But the way we've been, you're just hoping that we'd find a little bit more. And we nearly did. And so I thought the game was... It started off a game that maybe people were fearing was a negative for the Premier League with the ball in play time, etc. But it ended up being a really great advert for the Premier League, in my opinion, where a team from the lower part of the league, or should be lower part of the league, just come up, reinvested with many, many different players, has got a play style and is really committed to that style and really committed to being brave and courageous on the ball and pushing people back and not cowering behind the low block, you know, and really trying to get there.
Facts.
So I really enjoyed what they did, and I really enjoyed what we did, because we were the team that used to fold. I think Brentford away a couple of years ago. I think Newcastle away on numerous occasions when we would go to these
Any away
grounds.
game, nighttime fixtures, really, that used to be cash money for rivals. We'd crumble. Fortunately, that's not the case anymore.
Exactly. And so we stood up in a way, we stood up physically, we also stood up with intensity, and then got around the ball, started to counter press and starting to push them back. And then we scored 2 beautiful goals. And if anything, it was probably 10 minutes too much for us, really, you know, from given the week that we'd had and given the lack of offensive changes that we could make that would free us up and ask us to regain territory from higher areas. We just didn't have those legs. And so we did what we did. We went into a bit of a low block towards the last 5 minutes, and then it didn't quite hold out, right? So, but I do think maybe the weekend was being set up that Arsenal were the enemy to English football and bringing all this set piece play in. But don't worry, lads, on Sunday, Liverpool and City will show us the real game, the real Premier League. Well, actually, at least Sunderland Arsenal was a contest, but Liverpool City was not a contest. One team is not ready, and the other team was able to, you know, take the flowers, right? So
and City whitewashed Liverpool, quite frankly.
I thought it could have been more, and Liverpool have now got some serious problems, and Arsenal sitting there in some ways, even though it's a draw, I felt Arsenal won in some ways, and so did Sunderland. You know, I thought Sunderland takes something away, we take something away while accepting we could do with this rest, because we need to get some people back to then go on to the next level, which no one's seen yet, right? None of us have seen this yet, and I can't wait for it.
You said it there, yeah, and I'm going to touch on that in the beginning in a bit. But one thing that I like about Arsenal is, again, it's been 10, 11 games. Our attack and all other aspects were good, but I think we could be great and go up the gears. And when you've got the points on the board that we have, I don't want to take the lazy view, but if you offered people this in August, kind of without context, you know, the wins, the losses, the draws, and the points, they'd have bitten your arm off for it. Like, I know people could take the kind of basic view and say, oh, Sunderland just got promoted, Arsenal's a bigger club, quote unquote, and all that kind of stuff. But if you've been watching the Premier League and paying attention, naturally, Sunderland have performed quite well, even overperforming. I had them down to get relegated, which looks silly now. So I think when you look at it, it was going to be a contest like that. You know, they've got a good defensive record. They're good on the ball. You know, they've got Xhaka, who's their captain, and doing what they're doing. I think you said it twice, and I think it's gone over people's heads. So I'm going to say it again. When you're traveling and the games are coming thick and fast and we've hardly got players, it is like to perform in the Premier League, making no excuses, it's a big task. So to come out of there with a point, considering everything, is great. But I do want to ask you, Clive, because it's a bit of a weird game. Both teams had to come from behind. Both teams took the lead. Is it 2 points dropped or is it a point gain for you?
Whenever you drop points, you always think what you could have done better, right? Could we have made changes? Could we have scored this goal? Could we have defended the second phases better? There's always something, but sometimes you just have to accept that there's something just called football, And if you all knew what's going to happen,
Facts.
we'd all be millionaires because we'd have won we'd have won all our bets would have come in, all our
Facts.
accumulators would have come in, right? We wouldn't even be here, right? And so and this is what's so beautiful about football, isn't it? You know, we hadn't conceded hardly a shot, and suddenly a couple of second balls,
2 have gone in.
2 goals, and we're looking at people and wondering, are people on it defensively when really we are the most on it defensive team in Europe?
Facts.
It's what's so brilliant about football. So there's always things you could do better. I felt we fatigued in the last 5 minutes or so, understandably, and that's it. And we weren't as alert to events, and we just got done by a fraction. I saw today, I don't know if you've seen it, DG, but on the goal, because Gabriel threw himself at it, the actual shot deflected off his head and went over Raya. I mean, this is how close. If he
These fine margins.
if he doesn't get there, if he's half a step slower, Raya just saves it. You know, and it's like, what can you do, right? And this is the game. This is the game. I can't. It'll go our way in a few weeks' time, hopefully against Spurs, right? And we go from
Yeah, no, they needs to go our way against Spurs. And you know what? On top of the obvious, Spurs have probably drawn the short straw because I know for a fact Mikel Arteta and these players, they're disappointed to drop points. They're going to come back if they are on international duty, the players that are with a lot of fire and desire. And I'm proud of my boys because I know the run we're coming into after the international break. People will look at the names, and rightly so. There's some big teams and some big hurdles that we have to cross. But I was kind of more nervous of the run of fixtures that we've just ended because naturally there's a lot of bogey teams, etc., etc. And we've dealt with the business. I do feel naturally, and you probably see it as well, you know, football fans are emotional. 1 minute we're the best thing in the world. And, you know, as much as you tell people to keep calm, suddenly everything's scary, especially with, you know, what City could do and things of that ilk. I think it's 2 points dropped just because of what it could have meant. But I think sometimes life is unfair and football's the same. And sometimes I think it is fair. I think when it's all said and done, neither Arsenal nor Sunderland can complain they only got a point. Both teams are good defensively this year. Probably disappointed at the 2 goals they scored. And it's like you said, sometimes it's football. Like we hit the post couple times, couple fine margins. Probably could have started the first half better. Was great in the second, but all in all, we can't really complain. And again, I have to reiterate the point you made because I think people see it as a bit of a cop-out. There's a lot of games we are traveling up and down the country and abroad. You are going to kind of see this. And that kind of filters this conversation into what I wanted to ask you. Like, how do you feel about our injuries? Because I feel we've got depth and it's really being tested. But are you a bit nervous about our injuries at the moment? Because some would say it's shades of last season potentially.
So at this moment in time, we're all thinking we're going to get 5 or 6 back by Spurs game, and they're all going to be in tip-top shape. Well, there might not be, right? And then we have to be honest and say we might lose a couple in actual break. It could happen, right?
How
So
life works.
and we just got to just stay on course. I feel there's a couple of injuries that annoyed me, so just go through them, right? The Martinelli one, what happened there? He comes on late in the game and something happened. I don't know what that is, but that one annoys me, right? Because he's just rolling into some sort of form. Just have Martinelli for this game late in the game. We turn them around and they don't put the pressure on. We don't lose a territory battle. Excuse me. Jesus, that's just one of those things. If we don't get Man United in that competition, we get Accrington Stanley, then he's not killing himself at the edge of the area and getting a cruciate. Gyökeres, understandable. Overplayed, too many minutes, just gets a little tweak. You know what? Just take that. That happens. But that was a byproduct of Havertz's one, which was really unfortunate. He gets a knee contact when he's in the ground.
First game of the season.
First game of the season. Major player for us. Major player. And then we lose him. You know, the Odegaard one. Again, we played the Eze, Odegaard, Rice.
What we all wanted to see.
Well, I didn't want to see it, mate. But let's not go there.
Oh, you didn't want to see it? Why not?
Because I just not. I like Rice, Odegaard, and Steve Mendy. That's my favourite midfield. But I'm sure there's going to be an occasion. There's going to be an occasion for that midfield. So we do that midfield. And in the game, Odegaard's doing a lot more physical contact because Eze wasn't really doing it in that game. And he hangs his leg out and gets a knee to knee, and we lose him again. That one disappointed me a little bit. So, yeah, I just think we're a couple short, and it's okay. And this is what everyone's thinking right now because City turned up in Pep's 1000th game, did the business. Everyone's thinking, oh, City are now on Arsenal's shoulders.
The Sharks are circling.
They're circling. Yeah, City are on our shoulders, but our shoulders haven't showed how broad they are yet. Do you see what I mean? We haven't seen this team yet fully with this
We've just had to box
mindset.
smartly. We've had injuries, players coming in late like Gyökeres. We're not in our final form. And that could go for a couple of other teams. But that is a point that you said, Clive, that I keep reiterating, but it's falling on deaf ears.
No, it's not. People listening, they just don't reply in the comments. That's all. All right, so basically, if you think back to the game, Newcastle away, think what we were able to do off we took off Saka in that game.
Yep.
We took him off because he wasn't fit yet. We brought on Odegaard in that game because he wasn't fit yet. But we were able to bring on Odegaard in that game, and he forced them back, and we got the 2 goals late. Now, there were set piece goals, but don't worry about that. I thought that game was probably our best performance this season, end to end. The first half open play was brilliant. Although a lot of people say second half Sunderland was our best performance because we
Nah, I
really
think
were good.
Newcastle for me, man. In all of that, I think that was a turning point at this point for
Yeah,
me.
I think so. I think when we look back, if we win anything, that's going to be the game. And we're still incorporating people. I can see someone mentioning Eze in that, and the shots that he had. He needs some luck, by the way, with some deflectors off shots. And we're doing all of this while we're settling people in. I'm really, really, really impressed. I'm really impressed with what we're doing. But I can't wait to see a situation when we're 1-0 up and we're bringing on Gyökeres. We're bringing on Madueke. And then people they're gonna have to beat us twice, right? So good luck with that. I can't wait for this power to come in the offensive areas. I love the young players that we have. We all love Max Downman and Ethan, etc. But Sunderland away was not the occasion to be
Horrible game
dragging
to
them
expose
on.
them to.
You don't do that, you just don't. You have a responsibility for those players, and so yeah, we just missed a couple of men, sprinters, couple of sprinters we needed for this game.
It's a
And we'd have
couple of
been fine.
options.
Yeah. Well, they brought on 3 strikers, didn't they, towards the end of the game, and
We'd love to do that.
that freshness and alertness from Bobby just got him there a fraction ahead of our players. He was fresh, he was sharp, he went for it. It worked out for him. And fair play to them. This is the game, right? This is the Premier League. That's why I think it's such a good advert for the Premier League.
I thought we weren't entertaining, so I back your opinion on that. That was a good poster for the Premier League, if I'm honest.
Yeah. Like I say, when you don't win, you can. It's frustrating. Let's think about it, right? At halftime, I'll be honest with you, I was thinking I would take a draw now, because normally Arsenal fade, and I thought after the week, you know what, just take a draw. We're playing okay. I could probably see us. They defended their box really well. We weren't getting any set pieces. I think, you know what, I'll take a draw. Then they came out and played so well, and they surprised me. And I think I've seen a lot. But they surprised me. The execution, determination, the intensity to get around the ball. They surprised me a lot. And so I felt it would have been nice, but no need to be perfect in November. Let's be perfect in April and May. That's what it really
Exactly.
counts.
You just got to be in and around, and we are. And I know if you were to compare, like if we were just to focus on Arsenal, just focus on Liverpool, any team in the league, there's different talking points and pros and cons. But if we were to look at the league table, nothing's decided. Nobody's got any distance. Like, of course, I like a 4-point gap, but we can't. And I'm not extending this to the club because I don't think they are. But Arsenal fans can't be complacent. There's going to be twists and turns, and God forbid, but if we go and lose against them lot down the road and the points change to 1, what could happen? And to which I'd implore Arsenal fans, if you're worried about City, beyond the obvious, go and look at the points gap in the last international break and now, and there's going to be many twists and turns. I want to ask you as well on Sunderland, Clive, Mikel Arteta, like, I don't blame anybody. I think we all share the W's. We all take the L's. I think there was periods in the game where we did better and worse than Sunderland. But I do feel Mikel Arteta maybe could have, nothing against the Mascara sub because that needed to happen. But do you think at least the Miles Lewis-Skelly's, the Norgards could have come on a bit sooner? Because a lot of fans were saying Rice looks cracking. I understand not taking off Rice. I'm nervous. But where do you stand on that? Or the game management from the manager better yet in that game?
Yeah, when you got Declan Rice there, it's hard to take him off, right? When he can just find it, and he tends to find it. So my theory is on this one: if you're going to commit to we're going to defend this out. We're just going to defend it, right? So what else could you have done? And I said this Thursday on the Vision. I sort of said, well, the only change I would have made I'd have brought on Mosquera, absolutely. He's a most aerially dominant centre back.
There is the option of Hincapié as well.
Yeah, Hincapié maybe potentially for Calafiori, but Calafiori, I would say, stronger in the air. There's going to be an aerial game, and he had the break in the week.
I thought he got back free.
Yeah. Well, he sort of went to a 5, didn't he? Went to a 5 4
Yeah.
1, and that's what he did. So, so my only thing I would have done, it's the only thing I would have done is, well, maybe two things, and this is pure hindsight. If you're gonna go defensive, maybe Christian Norgard for Zubimendi was the option, or Norgard. You can choose if you want to get Rice out because you think he's tired. And I don't think Rice is a great box defender, shall we say? I think he's great everywhere else, but I don't think he's a great box defender. Look back, remember the Fulham 2-2 when they scored late from a corner? He's not a great box defender. So I think Christian Norgard is a good box defender. So you could have done that for Rice or Zubimendi. Take your choice. And I felt Tim had a bit of a knock in the head early in the game.
Mm.
He was lagging a bit. Look, mate, he's the best right back in the league, right?
Mustard,
So
man.
again, what you doing? Why are you taking him out? He wouldn't have affected the goal. But again, it's just another body. Now, when you bring on these bodies, what you do make an assumption is that they are going to be foot perfect versus the ones who are tired. What if they come on and make another type of mistake we can see?
Because they've got to get into the game, and a game like that where it's just complete madness and, like you said, entertainment and a statement for the Premier League, you've got to like hit the ground running. It's like asking someone essentially that's never swam to just swim in the strongest currents. That is something fans don't talk about.
Exactly. And I'm thinking we just assume they're going to be foot perfect. So the only one I would have done, and we probably bought this player for this scenario, is Norgard to say, get out there and organise us in the back there. Like, and I don't want to mention his name, but remember when Rob Holding used to come in late in games?
Yeah.
And just
And you knew what time it was.
We've committed to this now. We're going to commit to it for 5-10 minutes. So I think Norgard is perfect for this. 31-year-old guy, knows where to stand, gets people around him. I just felt if I'm him after the game doing my warm down run and then getting in on the coach, thinking, man, I could have helped in that last 10 minutes. That's a bit of me that I think every one of us would want Zubimendi to start every single game he can possibly start. But there are times away, up north, last 10-15 minutes, we got no forwards. We can't win territory.
Christian bring on your Norgard.
Yeah, this was it. If Norgard was fit at Anfield, I think we bring him on to see that game out. We didn't get him on. We didn't get enough energy into that midfield in time. Too many were still settling. So yeah, that's the only thing I would have done. The rest of it is fine. But let's be honest. Everybody in your chat and listening right now, none of us thought we can see 2 goals in a game of football.
Hell no.
Right? No. So why wouldn't you back the people that are out there?
And you're right. And that's unfortunate. Like you said earlier, sometimes, and I think Declan Rice even said on Instagram, it's not a cop-out, but that's just how football goes sometimes. Of course, there's things we could have done better. I'm sure the boys, when they finish their recovery session today or something, the players that haven't gone off with their countries, they'll watch the goals again. Does Raya think he could have done better? Does Magalhaes? Does everybody else in the phases of play 100%, just like with the half chances our attackers had? But all in all, if you can't win, don't lose. And again, we did come back from behind. Of course, I want to beat Sunderland on paper. We should be winning games like that. But if you've been watching the Premier League, if you're seeing what Sunderland have done, if you consider all the facts that Clive has said, and you mesh it all together, that's why what happened. How do you feel about, like, going back to the attacking conversation? Like, why is it for you that it just seems to be like the cluster of our attackers? Of course, there's been other players with injuries, but it just feels like all of our attackers seem to be going down at the moment.
Yeah, I don't know why.
It's mad.
I could say a couple of them are annoying. I mean, Madueke, mate, he's an unbelievable athlete. How's he picked something up? I can't think of what happened.
Just when he was doing all right as well.
Yeah, and he's gutted. He was doing well with England, and so he's come out of the picture there. He was very close to making it on Saturday, very close. So he'll definitely be back. And so that's a bit annoying because I think we really missed that energy. And same for Martinelli, again, another impact player. Really missed that energy. And think about the goal. One of your chat guys sort of said it. The energy that we missed was in the top end of the pitch to press the entry pass,
which is a form of defending in itself.
When you get people can get good service into your box if you can't get their heads down. You know what I mean by that? You press them, get their heads down. They just got to lump it in there. They're able to pick people out into the box. So that second goal. On that second goal, it's sort of annoying because Saka weighs his leg at it to sort of block a cross. If that ball just comes in our box, we are set for that first cross.
We're ready to deal with it, yeah.
I'm sure we deal with it. But he deflects it and Marino can't get across laterally to stop the second ball in. So it's almost like a second phase that they've manifested.
Yeah.
Just because it deflected to somebody who was in space, he reverses the ball in to the other side, our weak side, and Saliba's a little bit on his, on his heels. Zubimendi has to challenge, and Zubimendi's now challenging with their Gabriel, their version of Gabriel, and he's like,
Don't
that wouldn't
sound
have
good.
happened. Gabriel was set for the cross on the other side. Do you see what I mean? So now Gabriel's got to react to the second ball, which he gives everything to do, and it just touches the top of his head and goes in the net. It's called football. It's called
football. I second that, because people don't understand that.
It's called football. If Saka is not there, we just clear that and it goes out for a throw and we go home. There'll be another day when this goes our way. We wonder how it's happened. We can't explain it, but we won't care because we'll have the points. On this day, you shake their hands and say, you know what, lads, you played us proper. You gave us a good go.
Best of luck for the season.
You gave us a good go. And we stood up to it, so you can't call us weak. We stood up to it, dominated, just didn't quite hang on at the end.
But unfortunately, us Arsenal fans know that the media and the people that right wrong about us are not going to share that. But I always say, if we're going to live by outsiders' opinions, we're in for a long day. And to be fair, like you said, I genuinely feel a draw is a fair result, all in all, because I know people will say maybe Raya didn't need to be in that kind of zone he was for the second goal where Magalhaes it's touched his head. But yeah, Raya saved us a lot, in my opinion. Maybe I'm exaggerating. Raya got us out of jail a couple of times in that game, and credit to Raya because he's not had nothing to do in games prior. It is what it is, man. Like, it is what it is. It really is what it is.
Raya was just trying to help his mates out.
Yeah,
he
exactly.
was coming off his line. He could see they're all flagging. So if I can get out there and help support them by being front-footed, and he just got that one a little bit wrong. But we say that now because if it doesn't hit Gabriel's head, it just hits Raya in the face, right? And that's it. Game over, right? So it's one of those things. But if you keep putting the ball into areas, make people defend, make these elite clubs defend. I have to be honest with you, I quite like it, what's happening to the game at the moment. I sat there for a couple of years.
I'm happy someone else said this.
Well, the thing is, I remember when we lost to City by a couple of points, I felt that no one even tried to play City. Everyone just went deep and stayed deep and didn't try to attack them. Yeah, that's not good enough. It's not good enough. You have to play them, right? So Liverpool this year, they've been challenged. So their centre-backs have been asked to run and run backwards. Last year, no one challenged them in the same way, So
facts.
And so now people are saying to these elite teams, you're going to have to defend your area. You have to defend your box. You have to defend throw-ins. You're going to have to, if you're elite, deal with it. And some of the teams can't.
Facts.
I think we have done. We are unfortunate this game. I don't think we shy away from it.
We relish it, or our defense does. In fact, the whole team has to chip in defensively. So clearly they do. This is the ugly parts of the game they criticized us for not being able to do. So I'm happy we're on it.
So if team's going to go direct on us, and that's fine, and we win it, and then we turn around and have mini counterattacks against them, do you know what? They'll shorten their game up. When they shorten their game up, we'll go and press them like Declan Rice did on the second goal. When they try to build out, no, we're going to take it off you. The key is, in any team, have you got the option to deal with the different styles of play that people are going to come at you with?
Exactly.
It's quite clear to me Liverpool can't deal with direct play. Their fullbacks are weak, right? They can't do it. Robertson can't play 3 games in a week, and Conor Bradley is good one-on-one defender. On the ball is atrocious, and the yellow card waiting to happen. So Konate can't play away from home. So they are unstable. Their first choice midfield is the only midfield that works. And their front three, they're still working it out.
Square pegs and round holes.
As far as I'm concerned, we drew a game, but we haven't got a problem. Everything's fit. We just need to add to it so we can add more energy to the group, right? So Liverpool now have got problems today. So Man City have found problems. Man City have found a new formula to try to protect their middle without Rodri there. So they crowd the middle, leave fullbacks in space. We know the drill. And then you leave space to roll into. So Doku then rolls out late as the ball's progressing.
Yeah, and great game.
And that's cool. They've found a way. But I'm sorry, those fullbacks ain't going to carry them to the league. It won't happen, And so it's up to us to make sure we adapt to the changes that are coming. We adapt to the games that are on offer for us. 100%. And we have done consistently without forwards. Without the rotation of forwards that we will soon have. So although we have won a couple of games 1-0, That won't happen anymore. We'll get that first goal, and then teams can come on, and then we'll take them late. I think it's just important to retain the stability. Because I think the team with the
100%.
best stability defensively, I know, I mean, not the ones that lets in the least goal, but that stability is important to
Buy into the
control the
ethos of the
game.
defending.
Exactly, control the game. So yeah, that's where I am.
And that's where I'm at as well. It's like, again, this just tells me the standards. And obviously it feels like a point gained or 2 points dropped, but we've not lost. And I do feel there's been like people ready to bite at Arsenal. Obviously, there's banter. We've all got friends in group chats that will say, "Oh, Arsenal never won." But I do feel there's a slight overreaction. We just got to get on with it. And I think the biggest thing for me is obviously our attacking players, for a variety of reasons. Some have just joined our football club. Some are adapting to what Arteta wants, and their teammates. A lot of players haven't been available. Players are available. They play a lot more. Relationships are built. We marry what we do defensively and all that aspects. No one can stop us, And I think one thing that you said in terms of we've got various ways of playing that I don't think I mentioned. People talk about us not being entertaining. Not that any Premier League managers watching this. Open up against us, give us space, and I guarantee you'll see why sides don't do it. So I'm quietly bullish about our aspects. Like, we're in 4 competitions. Can't tell you which one we're going to win, but I genuinely think May 2026 Arsenal is going to win something. I want to ask you something before I attend to one of the questions in the chat. Of the 6 players here, yeah, and there might even be some missing out. Which one do you think we missed the most, or do you miss the most, or needed the most? We know they all are, but yeah.
Yeah, well, there's a couple. Well, Odegaard, I think we forget very, very quickly how important he is.
100%.
And when he plays, we're different. He plays in all different phases of the game. So he takes us to back 4 when he needs to. When teams are pressing onto them, he's available for that. He's available off the sides. I think in this game, I think Saka passed to Eze once in this game.
And to get more from them two's connection.
And so we just need a little bit more connectivity there. And there could be reasons for that. There are tactical reasons for that. I feel that we're playing a lot more in pairs rather than pods of 3. So you got Trossard and Calafiori playing. You've got Timber and Saka playing together. Obviously, our centre backs, but we are playing a midfield 2 that are a bit on the seesaw. Sometimes one goes up, one comes back. So Rice and Zubimendi are there, and the front 2 is really Eze 1+1 behind Gyökeres, right? So we're playing in pairs, but I still feel Eze's heat maps are more towards the right-hand side, and I want to see him have a bit more of a relationship with Saka. Not the Odegaard relationship, but his relationship, how he wants to do it. But then you look at this game and look at the amount of shots that Eze has. He won't get them if he's in Saka's pocket. Do you see what I mean? So
yeah,
he needs a break to score the goals on that side of the pitch. So, but I think Odegaard is the one that will unlock other players. Trossard's doing great on left-hand side. Really good. You got a passer and a runner. So Trossard's your passer, Calafiori is your runner, and Declan Rice is your runner. So you can sit in a little armchair there, just popping it around to 2 major athletes.
Facts.
But Eze can do that. It's the same thing. Think back to Nottingham Forest game at home. Eze played off the left and was fantastic, and he can do that role too. But at the moment in time, he has to fight for that shirt with Trossard, and he'll have to take some minutes off of Odegaard as well. Again, we have these options. We have to be comfortable with them. So I think Odegaard's the one for me. I can't wait to see him come back.
I mean, it's one where I know I asked you the question, so I have to kind of. It's one where I'd say it's a cop out, but all of them, I did feel against obviously Sunderland. I thought Kai Havertz, because whether he's going to start the game, whether he's going to come off the bench, just because it became clear in that second half, like, this is just a fight. Football kind of goes out the window, and I think Kai Havertz is perfect for that kind of stuff. I do think Gyökeres has introduced me to. I like having a traditional number 9, because I did think Sunderland's defenders were a lot more ambitious because they didn't really have that. That's not really Mourinho's skill set. I miss Noni actually, and I feel the pace of Noni. It kind of goes with Martinelli. And naturally, you want to see Jesus. Indirectly, it kind of filters into Gyökeres' muscular injury. If you have one of the 2, if not both available, you share the burden and share the workload. And then, like, Odegaard speaks for himself. I know you said you're not a fan of necessarily Eze, Odegaard, and whoever's in the 6. My bias is Rice, Zubimendi, and Odegaard, but I do want to just have the luxury of those options, even if Eze has to go out wide. And you made a great point on Trossard, who actually feels one of our best performers of the moment, if I'm brutally honest with you. So shout out to Trossard. I wanted to ask you, what have you made of Gyökeres, like, in general, in his whole totality? I know you've probably been asked this a million times.
No, So when we're watching this game and it's 2-1 and the ball's at Timber's feet and he looks up and Saka runs towards him, and normally Gyökeres would run straight in the space behind him and would be up the pitch. I think he's been absolutely critical to our pattern of play.
Facts.
And so last year there was a lot of what I call settled attack versus settled defenses, right? So what we were doing, we win the ball back, then we have 3 passes to get into rest defense attack shape, right? And then we would go. We go out to Saka. Saka would have 3 men in front of him, and we all know the rest of the story, right? If he gets past 3 of them, well done. If you get past 2 of them, get a foul. Referee says, well, unlucky son, get up. No cards until you get fouled 5 times.
I'd say 10, 15.
And so we all know the game that we saw last year. Whereas this year, the behaviours when we win the ball are so much more transitional. So we're winning and we're going into shape very, very quickly. We're going forward very, very quickly, or we're switching the point attack very, very quickly. And when you've got a wardrobe that can run up front, you better give him the ball, right? Because he's going to run. So in the early phases of the season, he didn't get a lot of the passes. Now he's getting them. So now we're hooking the ball around the corner and we're pushing teams back. And he's winning the race, and then we're recycling. And we're starting our attacks from like 30, 40 yards up the pitch. I love it because we're getting far more broken play, far more one-on-ones. And the pitch looks bigger, right? So because we're stretching it. And also when we make the pitch bigger by how we circulate the ball at the back. I did a podcast with a guy called John McKenzie a little while ago, and he explained it beautifully.
Big him up. He's another one that's very good at the tactical kind of aspect.
Absolutely fantastic. He's pure, doesn't care about agendas. And he spoke about how our centre backs are on an angle. And so what you do, you knock it to one drops back, you knock it backwards. Now that's normally a pressing trigger. They press. What do? Then we clip.
Now there's space.
Now we clip. So now the pitch is bigger. Right. So and we spoke about how we make the pitch bigger. So sometimes you see like Mosquera on the ball, Roberta De Zerbi style, baiting. As soon as they come close, he goes back. He goes back to Gabriel, who might go back to the keeper, who then goes direct. But now we got to refill that space. Second ball, refill the space, and then we attack up speed. You know, and it's really, really good. I like it, and I go to every single home game, and we all love our team, right? But you got to love what you're watching. You got to feel like you're watching something a bit more varied and with a bit more diversity.
I don't understand how you can't be.
There's so much more attacking diversity in this group, and we haven't got the full group yet. You know, so I am really, really hopeful if we can maintain that defensive stability that we're going to get where we're going to get to. I have one worry, and the worry is a mental one, and it has to be a worry because despite we can explain everything tactically, we can explain our squad depth, we can explain what we would do if this player was out, we could replace him. We can explain what we do with a deep block game. We've got a counter-attacking team. We've got pace. We've got power. We've got size. We've got everything. What we haven't got is experience of winning the big one.
Yeah. And the only way we do it is obviously winning this with the squad we've got in it.
That is it. Winning the big one. So I think we're going to be fine. But I don't know. I know. And so if you're Man City, what are you going to do? You're going to put us under emotional pressure, mental pressure.
And see if we break.
So here we are now. So on the 92nd minute, we were about to go 6 points clear of City, right? They equalise. We nearly score again in the last couple of minutes. City then slapped Liverpool. We're 4 points ahead. City play before us, before we play Spurs.
So at some point that becomes one. If
it could be one. It could be one. Now, how are we going to feel with that? It's just a genuine question, isn't it? It's a question. We're going to feel a little bit nervous, aren't we? So if you're within the club, for me now, it's that mental toughness and robustness. Say, we don't care about them. We're going to focus on us, what we do, deal with Spurs, deal with Chelsea, and keep accumulating points. Because that's how you turn things around. If you start to look at yourself and look at your boots, you're not gonna deliver.
You start stumbling.
That's the important thing. So that's the only thing that concerns me a little bit. Because if I'm City, I'm going to be pushing on Arsenal, pushing on our mentality, telling them how lovely we are. Yeah, they're a great side, but have they really done it before?
Saying that when we weren't challengers.
Yeah, and they're going to do everything to get us all thinking. And us as fans, because we are emotional, we're going to bite, right? We're going to bite. But the important thing is not to bite, and we have an opportunity to create an environment from which the players can succeed within. And that's what I'm going to be trying to do with my little influence that I have.
No, don't downplay it, man, because I feel like for people like us and people in the chat, people that are balanced, like God forbid, but there's an alternative universe where everything that we're happy about is terrible in it. So if that was the case, we would be negative or we'd call it out. Likewise, at this moment in time, there are some concerns, like you alluded to, mentality. We only know once that hurdle kind of comes, but naturally, everything at the club, not to delude yourself, it is positive. So I think you're within your rights, whether it's you lot that's going to the games, where it's people around the ground. When we win, we're happy. We lose, it is what it is. I think we've got all of the tools. I can't tell you we're definitely going to win the Prem ahead of City or Liverpool, but I've never been more confident that we can have a serious fight for this. Like, I genuinely think it's running all the way to the wire. Now, there was a point in the season, nobody can stop Liverpool. They're winning games. They've got Isaac. They've got this. Arsenal are cowards. They're not on nothing. Then, obviously, I would say since the Newcastle game till before we kicked off for Sunderland, nobody could stop us. And it's going to fluctuate. And I say this on my channel all the time. It's not that I don't want you to look at the league table or consider things, but if you're genuinely going to look at the league table day in, day out, week in, week out, you're going to do your head in. The time, I think, is for times to look at the table or look at the points gap. You do that in April, you do that in May. At this moment in time, it's not going to do you any justice. We just need to win our games. It kind of goes into this question, Clive. Like, do you think Liverpool are out of the race? And I'll add a bit of that. Like, do you think it's Arsenal versus City? Do you think it's all three? Like, where are you at with where this goes?
Hey, look, so we're playing 3 times a week. That's 9 points up for grabs every single week. This could change very, very quickly, right? So the key is, I think I don't think Liverpool were that good last year. Let's take the 2 years in succession, right? So the year before, they were leading the league towards the end of the season. They won the League Cup. They had a gap on us about 5 points. They folded right towards the end of the season. Did nothing else with that team, the exact same team. But what they did do, they maintained the same levels, whereas their points were all very, very similar. Whereas we dropped off and City dropped off. We dropped off for my reasons, purely delusional Arsenal fan. I didn't like the red cards. I didn't like the fact how we were targeted. I think injuries cost us. I don't think we built the right squad to manage any injuries. We just assumed everyone would keep going.
I don't think that's deluded. I think that's facts, Clive. I
second
all of that.
I think we just all assumed that Saka would last forever and Havertz would last forever, and they go down. Jesus, we probably knew. Odegaard never gets injured. He gets injured, doesn't really recover. So we were lucky to get to, not lucky. We were fortunate to have a European Cup semi-final to say we've made some progress this year, because we didn't make progress in the league. So at this time, Liverpool maintained consistency, whereas we didn't. I don't think they were that good then. I don't think they've improved much now. They've added to their group. They've gone a different route. They've gone the star quality route, where we've gone the depth route. I think there'll be more clubs doing the depth route. But by depth, I mean quality depth.
It makes more sense to do that.
Yeah, and I think we're going to see a situation soon where we're going to have 2 or 3 players that you may really like that don't even get a tracksuit on, right? And then we're going to have to be really smart about this. We're going to have to be smart. We may have to look at mid-season holiday for some players to get them away, to plan for later in the year. So you're out for a week, you go away, get back. We're going to have to do this, recharge, because you're not getting a winter break. We played PSG last year in the Champions League. We slapped them in the home game in the group stage. But then what happens? We then play 9 games. Well, we played 9 games in January. They have a winter break. We have a League Cup semi-final. We have an FA Cup against Manchester United. We had 9 games and 2 extra Champions League games, right? So 9 games. I just can't get over that. So we do this to ourselves. So when we come to the crunch times, PSG are rocking. They haven't got a League Cup to worry about. They've won their league ages ago. They've got a full 11 rested. They come into our house and slap us in the first 5 minutes. They were ready to go. And I think Arteta is thinking about March, April, May. Everything he's doing is about that. And that's why he's got this squad. And we're going to see changes to allow our best players to not just be on the pitch, but be in condition to deliver the biggest trophies in the game. And that's what PSG did last season, and they deserve what they got.
Obviously, you're not a fortune teller, yeah, but we're still in the League Cup at this moment in time. Obviously, the FA Cup, the Premier League, and the Champs. If you had to put all your eggs in one basket, like which one do you think we're more likely to win, and which one would you rather win? Because for me, I think we're more likely to win the Premier League than the Champions League. I would do anything if somebody offered me the Champions League right now without context of everything else. Bob's your uncle, really. I really want the Champs, but where do you stand on that?
It's tough,
Difficult.
right? It's tough. I
Difficult.
I, I think I my gut says I want us to win the league. I really do. But if we're doing well in the league and we're in shape and we're still in the Champions League, why not? Why can't we get close to both? I don't. I just want to make sure we're in shape. That's the key. Because sometimes a draw can just open up and you play the right team. If we'd have gone past PSG, which we could have done, right? We're playing Inter Milan, an old man team that played one game too many. We'd have won the competition with a centre mid up front. If it's your time, it's your time.
Facts.
And that's it. And at PSG, look at what they've done. Look at the money they've spent in the past with Messi and Neymar, having all these players there. What did they do? They bought Cavra in January. They Dembele false nine,
It's
found the
actually a team
system,
now rather than stars.
and they deserved it. They beat Villa, Liverpool, Arsenal. They deserve it. They took the Premier League to task. They deserve it. It was their time. It could have easily been us because I thought we were as good as them in the two legs. They were more efficient in front of goal, and that was the difference. We had a limping Saka, a centre mid up front. That's the truth. So
Just a
there could be
mission too
another,
big for us.
yeah, there could be another game, another day when we're playing there, and we are in the best shape mentally to go and deal with a Champions League game. I want to. Well, this team now needs to win one of the two big ones. It's as simple as that. I choose the league. But I've been around a long time, a lot longer than you, young man, and I wouldn't mind a Champions League in my lifetime. That's one thing for another.
I need the champs, because, like you said, you've been around longer than me. Obviously, I just feel Arsenal Football Club were too big of a club to have, well, the lack of trophies in Europe, and we've got more nightmares in Europe than actually, W's. Like the last when we went to the Europa League final, you know what happened? Paris 06. I won't expand on that. I just think we could do that. I think we're more likely to win the Prem. It's gonna sound a bit mad to say, Clive, because I don't know if it makes sense. And obviously, before these lot knew what an Arsenal was, I'm sure all of these players had dreams of winning like the World Cup and the Champions League. But I think it would mean more, quote unquote, to win the Prem, just because we've the last 3 years, in it, like we've had years where the last game of the season, technically, with a bit of fortune, you could still win it. Then, like last year, where we finished second, but we're just existing. I think it would make more sense to win the Prem. I think we're more likely to win the Prem. I think we win the Prem, we try to retain it, we do what we do domestically, and then we can start to begin of Europe. I'll always take a League Cup or an FA Cup where we can, because we like these boys ain't won nothing in it. So it's techie. And dare I say, Clive, like a part of me, I know you should be humble, but I think we could get 2 bits of silver where if everything falls into place and everything is what we need it to be. I think we've got the depth, and I have to big up Berta for that. Where do you stand on Berta as well? Because I actually haven't had the chance to ask you a question. Like the man brought in 8 players. I would have loved for it to be 9, but 20 out of 10 window.
What? You wanted 9?
We never got a left winger, man. Like big up Trossard, but I think we missed out on that, man. But no
I have
problem.
I have a line said, as fans, you always want one more piece of chicken, right? But
There you have it, then 100%.
But even I was full up this time. So we've ate, but you still want another piece.
Yeah, man. I just wanted that game changer. Like my plan was, and I know in the summer there was talk around Trossard. Thank the Lord he didn't leave and Martinelli leaving. But I wanted them to kind of in the roles they're in now. And then I couldn't tell you who. That could be Semenyo for some. It could be whoever. Yeah. But that blockbuster left winger, you've got that. You've got Eze. You've got Gyökeres. You've got Saka. You've got all the other boys. I think we've got a complete squad. I mean, maybe Arteta don't believe that because he's always looking for improvements. But I think we missed the trick. But it's 20 out of 10 window, man. But yeah, where are you at with the window, man?
Yeah, well,
definitely want more chicken.
If you're looking for one more, when Semenyo runs through Liverpool's team and smashes it in their net, you'd say, and he's an Arsenal fan, you think, well, I wouldn't mind him. But then you're saying that really one of and not both of Martinelli and Trossard would need to go. And Trossard just roofed one in Sunderland's net. So we have to do what we're going to do. And that I think there's a power runner missing from the forward line, shall we say?
Exactly.
And that's it. It's just a profile that we don't have. And there's a 2-footed power runner down the road. So it's obvious, really. But the window is fantastic, and the way we've approached it is not just for me to win this year, but I think it's to win for many years.
The age profiles are ridiculous. New
Just
contracts as well, which I also have to big up Berta, because I know we're kind of far removed from it, Clive. Like, we don't really have that, like that Aubameyang, that Ozil, with every good game or bad game, they're going to leave Arsenal kind of thing. But to have Magalhaes, Saliba, the all the young players, really, to have no speculation over their futures on top of everything we've done, considering Berta joined us in March, this is
yeah,
what we've wanted to see since we've moved to this stadium. So I can't ask anything more. I think at the minimum, Arsenal Football Club, our fans deserve to be competitive, and we've got that. Now we just need to get over the line, man. But yeah,
yeah,
extra piece of chicken in January
yeah.
or
Extra
next
piece in
summer.
January. So if you think about the contracts that have been signed, Sleeper signing a 5-year, right?
Ridiculous.
So that's 3 years before any speculation. So what we're really saying, Gabriel's on the same timeline. We got Declan Rice and Saka to redo, Timber to redo. I don't hear any whispers there. They're going anywhere. So now what you're saying, what they're telling you is we are here for 3 years minimum. And we have committed to the club and to each other to put some silverware into our careers. Right. So, and that's it. So that needs level of stability. The manager's got 2.5 years to go, whatever it is. So he's probably got 2 years to get something in. Right. And then he'll get another contract and he'll deserve it. So no one's
And
gonna
shut people
like
up.
it. No one's gonna like it, right? But don't worry about the Talksport massive telling us that he's got to win because if he doesn't, he's gonna get fired. We have committed
Facts.
to a broader group on paper with wages consistently. We've committed to signings. Why do you think they are here? When they get sold a project, they get sold our intentions. And for me, it's a 3-year window to win a couple of serious trophies.
Facts.
That's where I am. And then from that situation, with this level of squad depth, you can't take everyone on the journey with you. So what happens then? You're going to be some collateral damage. There are going to be some people that are really good that are going to leave because they need to protect their careers. All of a sudden, you have a selling strategy that we've never had because we've never sold quality that can't get into one of the best teams in Europe. Then you have a different price tag associated to that player.
100 million
Right?
for Saliba pending when the time
Well,
comes.
I'll just give a name just out of nowhere, just because because Steve was going nowhere, right? But say a Ben White, for example, right? So really good player. We spent money on him. But if he decides, you know what, I spent a bit of time behind Tim this year, I want to get in the England team, I need to go somewhere to go and do that. He's not going for 10 million, is he? Do you see what I mean? He's going to
Facts.
go because he's a really good football player. Do you see what I mean? Kai Havertz, who knows what's going to happen with him? He may decide, I've had a young baby, I want to go and bring him up in Germany. Maybe it's my time to go. When he goes, he's not going for 10 million. And then we reinvest that money into the group. So what happens when you lift the level of your squad? There are some collateral damage alongside. But if you're in this
100%.
squad right now, you ain't leaving till you win something.
And
Then
Saliba
you
keeps
make the
echoing that.
decisions. Yeah. They want to do it together. I did a show on Sky last week, and it was all about combining the Invincibles with the current team, who would be in it. And as I was talking through it, I thought, I want to go big with the group, but you can't go big
Until you
because
do
this
that.
group hasn't won the stuff it needs to go. And so, Sol Campbell versus Saliba. Sol Campbell's won the double, right? I know Saliba's a better footballer. I know he
Yeah.
is. But
But
you
you ain't got
could
a leg to stand on,
you just
really.
got someone can say in the comments, but they've won nothing, Clive. And they're absolutely right. So you got to make it a football competency
Timber
conversation.
Lauren is an easy one as well,
Timber,
with the greatest
but
respect.
in the end, we just have to win. And we have to win because I think this group deserves to win. I think the manager deserves to win. We have to win. And that's it. And I see that focus in the team when I go watching the games. I see a focus on details which I've never seen before. Every detail matters. So long may it continue.
Long may it continue. I want to ask a personal question. Yeah, like what do you make of Eze? Like, am I wrong for as much as I can consider? You're joining a new team. Arteta, it's a complicated system individually and collectively. Am I being a bit harsh on Eze? If I like what he's doing, I think there's more to come. I've seen flashes. You said Nottingham Forest earlier. I think he was good. Newcastle away, great assist for Martinelli against City. But am I wrong for being underwhelmed? with Eze.
Right, I'm going to do two things on this one because I have to go shortly. But one of your comments
No worries.
just sort of said, no way is Saliba better than Sol Campbell. Sol Campbell, in his day, was the best centre back in Europe for those 2-3 years, without a shadow of a doubt. We had the best centre mid, we had the best centre back, we had the best centre forward in Thierry Henry. And I went to watch a lot of those games. However, the game's different. Back in those days, you didn't get your first pass for free in your box. You had to be outside your box. So everyone went up to the halfway line and the goalkeeper would kick it and the game would start from there. What we ask our defenders to do in the modern game is have 80 touches a game, be our build-up players, receive it from the goalkeeper, be able to be good on the ball while also be able to defend your box like Sol Campbell did. So I went for the modern centre-backs because I think the modern game is asking a lot more of those players. If you give Sol Campbell the ball in his penalty area, mate, it'd be like a hot potato. And it would have been for anybody in that era because we didn't develop centre-backs.
Yeah, there wasn't an emphasis on that, man.
There was not an emphasis. It's not a criticism of him. In his time, he was the best. If you're comparing, for me, Gabriel and Saliba are levels ahead of these players because we are so much of them, right? So, and on to Eze, I feel he's about 10 to 15 touches down per game. I want to see him have the ball more. It's not that he's not talented enough. I want to see him have it more. I say this without really understanding fully his role yet. I said earlier that we're playing him twos now, pods of two. So he's behind the centre forward. He didn't really have a centre forward for the last 2 games. So he ended up being ahead of the centre forward a lot of the time. But you look at the guy who had the most shots in the last game, it was Eze. So, okay, Odegaard's your 75 touch metronome all over the pitch.
Facts.
Eze is your 4 shots a game guy. When those shots go in, trust me, I won't hear a word out of me. Do you see what I mean? I think he's a big moments player, just not having quite the big moments yet. When he does, we'll look at him differently. At this moment in time, for me, he's about 10 to 15 touches down on influence, but that will come.
Is that the gaffer, or is that is that the gaffer Arteta, or is that Eze? Like, does Eze have to demand it a bit more? Or I want to pick my words wisely, but is he kind of crippled? Like, you're kind of operating in the areas the gaffer's got you operating in.
I think if you look around the league at the moment, there's not been many players that have settled like snow. Do you know what I mean? I think
Xhaka being one of them wasn't on my bingo card.
If you look at Ekitike yesterday, he looked like a child out there in that game, right? Yeah. So and he's a really good player, but it just takes time. It takes time to settle into your group. Wirtz, it's a steady player, mate. They just ragdolled him off the ball continuously. He's not ready yet. So he needs to be receiving the ball in areas where you can't ragdoll him because you give a big free kick away. So he has work to do on his starting position. Eze the same. Where do I need to be consistently? Will the players give me the ball? Zubimendi's coming. He's taking up a lot of playmaking responsibility. Rice has taken up a lot.
I think he's amazing.
So where does he fit? Where does he fit? I think he fits best off the left, in my opinion. But I'm okay with him being in the 10. These are first world problems. Last year we played a 17-year-old in that position. And so we're improving. And so I'm prepared to give him time. I think it's going to be excellent. I think he's going to score a massive goal for this club. You can see it coming, a very big goal.
It will work for him.
Yeah, he's a serious shooter.
He's too good not to work, and I'm already seeing it working. It's like, for me, I always say you're fitting in. I say this with a lot of players, but for Eze with this convo, you're fitting in. I need you to stand out, because when we signed Eze, the first thing I thought was talisman, and like you and Saka, I believe you've got that in you. You lot are match winners, but if you lot show it to me in what's left of the season, we're laughing, Clive, man.
Yeah, we are. So, when he arrived. I remember the first home game against Leeds. I don't know if you go to games, DG, but the first home game, I sat there and I looked around the stadium, and when he walked out, and I looked around, and we played really well, and Gyökeres scored, and Max Dowman come on, and I looked around, and I was like, I messaged some of my podcast mates, and I said, mate, this is like so good, it's almost overwhelming. And the feeling of overwhelming was not like, oh, we've won a game 5-0. We've done that before. But I just started to look around. I look around the squad. I looked around the team. I looked around the commitment to really make it happen, to really cover the gaps. And I realized at this point we were serious and we could actually win something. And that was in the first home game. I had that feeling, and I still have that feeling now. I still have that feeling now. We are committing to winning. Everywhere you look, do you see a player not committed?
No.
You may not like that player, you may have an issue with him, or Do you see a
You
player
can't
not
question his
committed?
desire.
You can't question the manager. Gee whiz.
Or the gaffer, yeah.
He needs to calm down on occasions, right? They are so committed
Right.
to it. So committed to it. I found it a bit overwhelming, and I thought, okay, this is heading towards something else now. The reason why I found it overwhelming, because when we won before, and I was there, we won all the big trophies. I was there, we won our European trophy in Copenhagen. I was in the ground. I was there in Paris. I've seen a lot of stuff, right? But I've never seen us win in this digital, global fan base environment where people like you and the youngsters in your chat have not seen us win something big for really get close to it.
Yeah, wow, since I
And
was a kid.
I think that's going to explode the club, you know. And the club belongs to you youngsters. It belongs to all of us. But it's coming. It's coming. And when that happens, this club's going to explode. And I don't think I'm ready for it. I don't think any of us are ready for it. You will not be able to walk around the street corner in London without seeing a top. That's for sure, right? This club has not shown its true colours yet. And when they do, we're going to be all over the place, all over everybody. And I just can't wait for it. Just got to hang tight. Don't split apart. Stay together. Hang tight. It's coming if we create the environment for success.
I would have put you as Mikel Arteta, man. If you was the manager, I'm ready to play 11 aside right now, Clive, man. My last question before you get out of here, yeah? If I let you get out of here, because I know you got somewhere to be. Charles has asked, DG, a question for Clive. Obviously, something I've asked in your chats. Does Raya worry him? This clean sheets runs, his concentration is an issue. His Brentford experience shows in moments.
He has moments, but he also has blinding moments that we just accept. You know, even in this game when he rushed out into the feet of Robbie, and I think he's excellent. I think he's what the team needs. You know, when he was at Brentford, he's one of their captains as well. He's one of the leaders in their dressing room. I think he's exactly what we need. If I was being picky, you know, I'm talking perfection here. I wish he was 6'3.5", but maybe he wouldn't
say that.
But maybe he wouldn't be as agile, you know, because he jumps out of his boots, right? He jumps out of his boots, and he's a modern goalkeeper. And so, yeah, I like him a lot. Again, my one criticism with him is, and look out for this now, I'm going to say it, right? Do you remember the goal we conceded against Real Madrid?
Yeah.
And sometimes when there's a big event in the box, he gets the ball and he wants to rush out to get it going again. And I think just go, he wants to roll it out quickly. Well, no. We've just conceded a big chance.
Relax.
Just hold. And I just think he gets excited. Now, he gets excited trying to be positive. Now, I'm not going to kill a man for trying to be positive. But there is a time at the Bernabeu when Saka just scored that goal. Remember? He just chipped the keeper. And I just wanted to enjoy it for 5 minutes, mate. And the next minute, Raya's running out and rolling it to sleep when he's got no pass on. You know, and I'm thinking, no, mate, just let me enjoy this for 5 minutes. We just got one up at the Bernabeu, right? So
that's his biggest strength and weakness, right?
So I'm picking. That's a real picky, but maybe people would agree or not. I'm not too sure.
You know what? You're right. You know, and what a time it was. Completely off topic with the Real Madrid game, man. Clive, this has been fantastic. You know, on behalf of the chat and myself, thank you for this chat. I hope you enjoyed it because you lot have been on to me to get Clive here. I've delivered. Hopefully, our football team can deliver. Can't imagine they don't know where to find you, Clive. But just before you head off, where can they find you?
I do the Arsenal Vision mostly.
Big podcast.
Do a little bit. I do a little bit on Sky now and again. A little bit on TalkSport. Not too much. Just a couple.
Need you back on the overlap.
I decided.
You're the only one that
I turned away from it. I turned away from it because people are saying, Clive, did they chuck it or no? I decided. They've asked me back many times, and I've not gone back because sometimes you got to do things that suit you, you know, and you know, I don't need to be running around for things that don't suit me. If it's more of a serious conversation, that's fine. But I think it's more of a banter conversation. And I'm not really that sort of person, right? I'm a bit serious and boring for some. So there you go. So yeah, other people can do that and do a job. So there you go.
But yeah, where can people find you though? Like your actual socials?
On the Arsenal Vision podcast, and I'm on Clive PAFC, but people know where I am really. So
yeah, you know where he is. Overlap won't be one of those places. I hope you lot have enjoyed. Smash the like button and subscribe. Clive, appreciate you. Enjoy your evening. Come on, you Gunners, man. And on that note, people, we're out. You lot enjoy your evenings. Clive, bless my guy.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Come on.
easy, easy, easy.